This is day 30 of what started out as the 100-day project, but is now turned into Confessions of a Wild Dreamer. And I am so excited today in general because I had a really great writing session. I did a lot. I got a lot of movement on my memoir, which I'm very, 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 very happy about. And as I was working on my memoir, and even a couple of days prior, I've been thinking a whole lot about how important it is, how important it is for us as creatives, as writers, as wild dreamers, as witches, as folks who want to live the best, biggest, boldest life, how important it is for us to create little experiments for ourselves. And I titled this one, Using Your Life as Your Own Creative Lab, because I feel this is such an important piece to how we weave creativity, writing, painting, music, whatever it is, whatever kind of art you do, whatever kind of wild dream you have, how we weave it into our everyday is by creating these little tiny experiments for ourselves, by using our everyday life as one big laboratory, like creative, spiritual, transformative laboratory. And I come back to my life a lot because this is how I've lived it, is I've always created these tiny little experiments to see whether or not something fits, to see if something, whether or not feels good. And I don't know if y'all know human design. I like it. I'm not really big into it, like astrology and tarot are my thing, but I do feel like it has some very important ways to see yourself that are countercultural. And I'm a Manny Gen. So as a Manny Gen, I am built to try a lot of things and not follow through with them. I'm built to try a lot of things and do a lot of things so then I can feel into which ones are really real and authentic for me, which is probably why a lot of my other projects like that I tried like this didn't work or last, because I didn't come from it to it in the same place as I have with this one, which is completely ruleless except for one rule, which is to be honest. And I've created these tiny little experiments. I mean, 100 days doesn't feel so tiny, but I mean, it is in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of a year, in a grand scheme of a life, in a grand scheme of like a creative body of work. And this became an experiment. It became an experiment for me to get to know myself, to get to know y'all, to get to know how I think and verbally process the creative experience and process that I'm going through, how I want to share it, what's important, I feel is important, for me to share with y'all. And I've learned so much just from this one little experiment. And I've done these kinds of little experiments throughout the course of my life. And it bears repeating that as a writer, creative, witch, whatever wild dream you're dreaming and you are, that we take every opportunity that we have in our life to keep fostering that dream, to keep making that dream happen and creating these little tiny experiments, using our life as like one big creative laboratory is such an accessible way to keep the momentum of your wild dreams, to keep you in it and to keep you really having fun and enjoying the process versus like, focusing and being so like boxed in and contracted and like, I have to do this, like it has to be this result or else. And it brings an air of like breath and expansion and levity. And the invitation today is thinking about what you're working on, what it is that you want to do, your big wild dream. what is a tiny experiment that you could do? What is one thing that would be different or out of your norm, out of the ordinary for you that could potentially spark so many different things? It could spark a new project, it could spark a new ritual or a new way into doing something that you love doing. It could spark a passage to your next book, your memoir, and really asking yourself when the experiment's done, however long, or and even throughout the experiment, right? Asking yourself how, yes, out of your norm, get out of your norm. Asking yourself how you feel, asking yourself like what works, what doesn't work, what could work, and moving forward from there, knowing that nothing's static, right? It's your own experiment, your own thesis, it's your own hypothesis. You can change the rules at any time that you want because it's yours. You made it up. And so holding this as a piece of the ever growing creative puzzle. Like, how do we live a creative life? How do we live a wild dream life? How do we live out our wild dreams? Is we use every single opportunity that we have to experiment, to play, to get curious, and to do things that are so out of the box for us. This going live is out of the box for me. I love being in the flesh, like talking to people, but being live has always been a little bit different because like I don't have you in front of me. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I'm like, I want you here. Like I want to see you. I want to hug you. I want to be like, energy. And so this was out of the box for me. And I knew that if I wanted to get to the next level of my writing, my creativity, all the things, I had to do things that make me uncomfortable. I had to think out of the box. And so I created this little tiny experiment and I'm loving it. I'm learning so much and I love meeting and talking to all of y'all. So, invitation. Get out of your comfort zone, get out of your norm, and create a little tiny experiment that is going to help you push yourself comfortably, gently, or maybe you need a big old push out of your comfort zone and really get you in the momentum of the wild dream and creativity writing thing that you want to move into. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I will see you tomorrow. I love you all so, so much. And Lakesh. Bye.